Greetings, this is Silly Kelly coming at you, and this is a movie review of Birdman, which had Michael Keaton in it, Emma Stone, and a couple other people. Directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. I probably ruined it, but there it is. Birdman. The Red Letter Media people did a review of this earlier, and they didn't want to give too much away, and they actually didn't. So this review is a review of the movie, which, like that other one, will have spoilers if you haven't seen it. Because a lot of people haven't seen it. It hasn't been widely released yet. It's a strange movie. Okay, Birdman. Birdman stars Michael Keaton and Emma Stone, Edward Norton, Naomi Watts, Zach Galifianakis, and several other people. I probably missed some, but yeah, it's a movie where like Michael Keaton plays a has-been superhero, sort of parodying his role as Batman in the late '80s, early '90s. Except he's Birdman in this one, and he's a has-been guy who's become a director-producer for a Broadway show that he's going to put on, and Zach plays the his manager, basically, his frontman. The Edward Norton character, he plays his sort of actor slash rival guy that shows up. And interestingly enough, there's like this weird, like, it's a continuous, like a continuous camera angle through the whole thing. So it's like a never-ending shot. They just keep going on. They managed to pull this off, except for a couple of breaks here and there, which was mentioned on the Red Letter Media thing as well. So it's a one continuous take almost, like they're rehearsing the whole thing. It's an interesting way of doing it. Some other movies have done something like that, but Black Swan was a little like that. This movie has a little in common with Black Swan, actually, and some of the early Woody Allen stuff, a little bit. The frenetic sort of stuff, New York-y sort of, pretense and whatever. I think it works well in the case of this movie, where the characters are supposed to be in New York, and it's supposed to be that they're shallow. So yeah, they're all sort of Hollywoody types. His character was a star in this sort of B movie superhero movie flick thing, and now decades later he has a grown daughter and ex-wife, and that's Emma Watts is the ex-wife, I think. Yeah, and Emma Stone's supposed to be the daughter. And of course, Edward Norton is the actor that plays opposite him in the play, which he acts in and wrote. So he's like trying to reinvent his story as this sort of dark melodrama thing with some funny elements in it. They list this movie as a dark comedy, and there are some funny scenes in it. But I would say it's not quite humorous enough to be dark comedy, and it's not quite dramatic enough to be a full-on like dark drama thing either. It's sort of a hybridized thing. It definitely, the ending is definitely dark comedy, but I would say it's a drama with some jokes in it, and which is fine. I had no illusions about it, no pretense about it. I went to see the movie knowing from at least the Red Letter Media version that it was going to have some jokes in it, and from the trailer as well. I wasn't fooled by the trailer. I got the idea. Apparently, Red Letter didn't get the idea from the trailer that the guy's a has-been actor, even though they mentioned that, and that he's hallucinating that he's a Birdman in the movie as well. That's in the preview. It's right there. They tell you that's what it is, and that he's kind of a washout and stuff. They tell you that, so that's not a surprise, guys. You didn't pay attention. So anyway, the movie continues with him. Well, first of all, he has this other actor who he claims that the accident that happens to the other actor gets stage light falls on him, and they have to replace him with Ed Norton's character, and so they get the guy together with that. They get the new guy, and Ed Norton's fooling around with all the actresses behind the scenes, and one of the actresses even gets hot and heavy with another actress, just to have a that's how that scene coming. Like everybody in the theater. There weren't that many people in the theater, mind you. This is Black Friday, and at the mall, and it was really packed. And there were about maybe 8 of us in there. Somebody commented that there was 8 of us in the. There were other movies people were going to see. The theater was otherwise packed for other movies, but not this one. Yeah, it just came out, so it's yeah. So the Keaton character apparently. It opens with him levitating. He's floating off the ground, and he's levitating in his room. And it starts with the line, "This place smells like balls," which is a great way to start a movie because it's hilarious. But you think it's going to be this like comedy vehicle masterpiece thing, but it isn't. It's just it's not really. It has some jokes. They're funny jokes, but it's a drama. Yeah, so going into this drama, it's a good drama. I would say of the movies I have seen this year that were dramas, this is Best Picture, because although the Grand Budapest Hotel, which is another good drama with some comedy in it, it's more of a caper, more of a fun sort of goofy caper. That one is actually last year. That movie is actually a late 2013 movie, and it was eventually wide released after the Oscars happened in January. But I will count it this year, in addition to this movie, in the Best Picture category. I will also count the Grand Budapest Hotel, and they're making another hotel one, too. They've made one with old actresses in it. They're making another one. So it's not the same people, but there's another one coming. And they saw that other one and thought, let's make another one. It's the hotel theme, I guess, this year. And quirky drama theme from last year. You know, and everybody was trying to rip off the asteroid movie, or trying to rip off the volcano movie, or 2 years ago it was the White House gets destroyed movie. Let's do 2 of those or 3 of those. Why not? So this year it's quirky movies. With another movie like this was all right, I fixed it. Okay, Terry Gilliam did another dark comedy. The guy that did Brazil. He did The Zero Theorem this year as well. So The Zero Theorem, and has not been reviewed. Actually, technically, The Zero Theorem was last year too. That was a 2013 movie. We have not reviewed that because we haven't seen it. It disappeared immediately, and it's not on DVD. But we will let you know about that one. It's a science fiction dystopian society where it's like Big Brother and stuff, like 1984. But they updated it. And it's more creepy and weird. So yeah, but in the guise of neons and bright colors and everything, like Brazil, but different, dystopian. So yeah, in the sense that was also a dark comedy. So this is but listed as a drama. This movie, back to Birdman. Yeah, the Birdman. He's apparently kind of nuts, Michael Keaton's character. And I know they actually have real names. In the movie they have the character names, but I'm using the real ones. And Keaton's character plays this the guy who is doing this play. And after the other actor is injured, he gets this Norton's actor to come in and do it. And all the while he's having these weird hallucinations where Keaton is, thinking he has kinetic powers, and at one point he flies around the city after drinking a bottle of whiskey. He drinks some whiskey, and then he starts flying around the city at one point. That was the big action scene after the other action scene where they blew up some stuff, which was all in his head. And what's funny about the whiskey scene is, I said there must have been something in that whiskey. because he was tripping. He was seeing stuff that wasn't there. He was flying around. And then, like there was this messed up, and there will be spoilers in this review. But yeah. So they went about their business in the movie. The daughter is kind of misanthropic, like the father. And she wants Emma Stone's character. And she basically, at one point, hooks up with the other actor guy, the replacement, Norton's character. And after this kind of shallow courtship. Well, meanwhile, this other actor lady is playing around with Keaton's character. So there's like this other dynamic going on. This other lady claims that she has a baby, and then she says she doesn't. And then there's this other thing about, like, the ex-wife shows up and likes him. There's this evil reporter lady who wants to destroy his play because she doesn't like it. But then I guess she did, big performance at the end convinces her to it. I'm not going to give away everything, but it does end a little bit like Black Swan, kind of ambiguously weird with the well, there's a little, like, there's, of course, somebody gets, Keaton's character does get hurt. But not from falling out of something. He gets a real gun instead of a prop gun to make his performance look better, and yeah, something happens to him. And it's messed up and very dark comedy kind of thing. So I don't want to give everything away, just you got to see it. So, there were some oddities with the Red Letter guys when they saw this movie. They kept throwing in the review, like apparently they didn't get it, that it was like, in the same way many people didn't get Interstellar, which is a different movie. And that a lot of it was pretty blunt, and it kind of told you what was going on. And some people complained, well, a movie doesn't, like, a movie doesn't have to preach to you and tell you what's going on. But this movie kind of does. It's not very ambiguous, and they didn't get some of it. They were like, I didn't understand this part where or they mixed up stuff. They're like, oh, and they were like up above the rafters watching the Emma Stone and the other guy were up above the rafters messing around, basically. The play is being produced at the bottom. They're all like, oh, that was like in Back to the Future when Marty Fly was up there. I don't think that was the director's intention at all. I think the director wanted to show all of the stage, and he showed that part too. I don't think anybody was alluding to Back to the Future at all in that scene, other than they were above the stage. Yeah, that's not Back to the Future. Sorry, guys, that's not. It's completely different. If he was playing Johnny Be Good down there, I would say yeah. Then they were ripping off Back to the Future. But that wasn't. That would have made it funny, and I don't think they were going for funny right there. They were going for weird and disturbing, with a little hint of funny. They were going for Emma Stone's character as kind of a slut in the story. She's not her character. And she's like, ah! Like, yeah. There was a funny scene in the beginning in which the Norton character walks in and does a full frontal nudity shot, which they conveniently do cover up his junk. But, yeah, he's pretty much, they show his butt. And he walks in and they're all looking at his Johnson, and they're commenting on it, whether it's either big or too big or too small or something. Pretty funny. That was funny. Considering it opens with Michael Keaton in his civvies, like in his underwear, floating, which alludes to the scene later on where he's in his civvies underwear. He gets locked out on stage during the performance. During this other performance, he gets locked out, and he's got to get back in, and his bathrobe gets caught in the door. And he's like, oh shit, ah! And he like yanks on it, and he's like, pfft, and the bathrobe is stuck, and he's he's in his underwear, and he's walking around New York. Well, it's like, and yeah, that was funny. Although it's New York, and like San Francisco and Los Angeles, I doubt seriously that anybody would bat an eyelash at that. I mean, they might, maybe if they were tourists or something, but it's like it's New York. There's probably homeless guys running around in their city. just like there is in San Francisco. It was like, yeah, but they knew that that was the guy that ran the hotel. And they knew he was, or the Broadway building, so they knew who he was. So they're not going to get thousands of Twitters from that guy doing that because that's stupid. But they wanted to throw that joke in there, just to say like, see, how narcissistic and messed up the society that where this play is being performed is. They care that the producer's running around half naked down the street and stuff. Yeah, so that makes sense. But yeah, there's these quirky little moments where it's like funny, and you're like, otherwise it's dark and dramatic, and there's like gunplay and stuff and things. At one point, he hallucinates things blowing up and a giant monster like hovering in the sky and Birdman flying around. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, and he's Birdman. And the letter media people apparently didn't get from the story that it was right there. He's supposed to be a has-been, right? And it's like, yeah, they got some of that, but they didn't get the idea that the director is just trying to be extremely like pretentious about it, but in a way that's fun. I think more so than you can watch another movie with that uses kind of like that idea of the material, like this is a really bad performance and play within a play thing, and the little story within the large story is the bad story, and they're like going over and over again. But yeah, but the it's like when this one guy's out in the street screaming about Hamlet. He's a what a piece of work is man, he shouts. How noble in faculty and reason and moving, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And it's like he's shouting it, and then the other guy comes out. And it's like, there's a couple of paraphrases there together. And it's like, yeah, that's the tale told by an idiot. Which is Hamlet and Henry. Yeah, Henry and Hamlet together. Henry V and Hamlet. But yeah, but it's like, yeah, these are theater people, and it's around Broadway, and they probably wouldn't care if somebody ran out of a building naked. I really don't think so. They wouldn't get lots of hits on their YouTube channel. Nah, it's a guy naked. But it was funny to have implied that Ed Norton was hung. That was funny. Yeah. And that they didn't care. It was even funnier. Because it's funnier, like, if they're not shocked. They're just like, because the other people were shocked. But they were like, give my autograph. They were excited and shocked. But, like it's funnier that, like, Norton goes, and they're like, it's Hollywood. I've seen that. Yeah, so, yeah, Ed Norton. And, yeah, so yeah, I was just saying that it was funny that he whips out his, well, we don't actually see it, but we imply it. And nobody's shocked at the size of his junk. So, of course, Emma Stone's character wants some of that, because it's like, hey, it's huge, He's got a John Holmes there, so she's like, so that there. It was messed up when, like, at one point he had, like, the other lady on the stage, and there was supposed to be a love scene, and the Ed Norton character, the other lady that's on the actress, and he says, I've got a boner. He's like, and she's like, what? He's like, let's do it right now on stage. It'll be art. I was like, oh wow. They didn't show it. They just talked about it. But it's like, oh my gosh. So there were like these weird moments in there. Like, it's not. Yeah, it's rated R. It's not for kids. So yeah, and yeah. So there's like, they didn't show them screwing. They had sheets and covers. But yeah, so yeah, there's faux sex scenes now and then, fake ones. But yeah, it's a good movie, Oscar contender movie for adults, adult humor. Quirky enough that I think the X generation will like it. Go out and see it, and I didn't give away too much, so you'll enjoy the ending and everything. But yeah, I take it that Keaton's character was actually schizophrenic, and that he was hearing voices and stuff, and that in hallucinating, which, visual hallucinations, and that he wasn't really the Birdman. He just like was so into that character that he zoned out or something, and it was like one point he like trashes his office. He does that a lot in the movie. But yeah, and Emma Stone's character says it was pot. Oh yeah, she had a joint at one point. He took it, and it's like, and it was like did they just call it pot? I mean, what do they call it? I know they don't call it the reefer anymore, so I don't know. Pot. Yeah, okay, pot. But yeah, of course, there's a little bit of that, and drinking whiskey that apparently makes you see flying birdmen stuff. But yeah, clearly Michael Keaton is making fun of his days as Batman from back in the day, which is funny. Yeah, so go out and see Birdman, long review. Chop up all the junky stuff in there. Like me not knowing who the actors are, or me mentioning who the characters are. But yeah. I think actually Michael Keaton should get a best. Okay, the movie should get an Oscar nod for picture. It should get an Oscar nod for best actor, Michael Keaton. There's a tall order there. It should get a nod, not necessarily for Naomi Watts' character, but Emma Stone's character. She plays a couple of good dramatic scenes in there. We know that Naomi Watts, I guess you could count maybe one of her scenes, but really, the Emma Stone character is the breakout character in the story. As Red Letter Media pointed out. She did a really good job, she did. And there's some scenes in there where she's not playing, her typical shtick, which is like teenage, she kind of plays a similar one to her shtick, but more of a narcissistic adult sort of character. There's a couple of scenes in there where she does some acting that isn't just her playing her. As long as an actor can convince you that it's not someone else, that it's someone else, she manages to pull that off. Unlike I think she was in Spider-Man movies. She was a little bit of a better actress in the Spider-Man movies than the other lady, but only a little. And yeah, don't miss Tobey Maguire too much, but don't miss the new guy either. James Garfield, I don't know, or Garfield or whatever it is. But yeah, so there you go. That's Birdman. Ha! Bird. What kind of bird is he? A blackbird or something? Eagle? Or maybe he's a pigeon. Birdman. Yes, Oscar contender movie, Birdman.